Guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Bethel, and on this channel I have this series called Sew with KIZAJ, and this is lesson 6, I believe. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make this flare skirt. If you haven't seen my video on how to cut flares, I advise you go see it. The bubbles right here, I advise you go see it because it kind of like helps you understand how exactly to calculate and cut. So in today's video I'm going to be making a full circle skirt. I'm going to take you step by step with me. If you end up finding this video interesting, go ahead and click the like button, give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and also turn on post notifications so that way you get a notification each time I post and you don't miss any of the videos in this particular course. Okay, so this is the fabric I'll be using. This fabric is called Kampala. Now this fabric is actually like really short, and there's no way we're going to get a full flare skirt without having to join it. So now I'm going to make the decision of if we want to join it on the bottom part or on the sides. For this design, since it's a short skirt, I think it's going to be best if we join it on the sides. So we know our waist is 25. So to cut out 2 half flares, we're going to need ½ an inch to join on each single piece, and we're going to have 2 pieces. So to get that, we're going to add 1 inch for one side and 1 inch for the other side. So that brings it to 2 inches, like so. So the next thing we're going to do now is just add that, and that's going to give us 27. So the waist we're going to be working with now is 27, strictly because of that allowance. So have it in mind that we're going to cut 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back. The length is going to be 22. So we're going to go ahead and add 1 or ½ an inch allowance to that to make it 22.5 whenever we're cutting out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out 2 half flares now. Personally, I do not like to cut flares on the table because I can manipulate it easier on the ground. I'm just doing this because of you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is to fold our fabric into 2. So with this part, you can actually watch my calculation video for flares and actually calculate using that method, or I just usually eyeball it and see where it's technically stops, then I fold from there. This actually looks like a good length, so I'll go ahead and fold it here. It is literally the most annoying thing ever. Let me just make sure. So that's going to be, I want it to be 20, what's the length, 22? Yeah, I definitely have more than enough here. In real sense, we're doing a full circle skirt. We're going to go ahead and divide 27 by 8 to get what our actual waist is going to be. Is equals to 3.3. Okay, so that's going to be like right here, like so. I'm going to go ahead and put my tape at the top here and see where that point stops. Then I'm going to go ahead, so it stops at 4.5. Go ahead, and I'm just using this as, you know, as a guide to make sure I have it all equal. Again, remember, this does not count. From here I'm going to go ahead and measure my length. So my length is 23. So this is actually going to waste a lot of fabric. If you're actually sewing this, I'm going to say, like, you know, go ahead and refold this because this is going to waste this amount of fabric from here to here, which is like 5 inches, but really I don't care. I'm going to use that for the waistband. So I'm going to go ahead and mark on 23. Or should I make it like a maxi kind of flare? So I'm changing my mind and I'm just going to use 28 for the length of this skirt. So instead of being like a short skirt, it's going to be like a midi skirt instead. Okay, so I'm going to put my tape back here, and then I'm going to see where my 28 stops. Is at like 32 and a half. I'll just bring it to 32 so that, you know, that way. As you continue to sew, you're going to see that you can adjust some measurements. That's not really going to affect things, especially when you're sewing for yourself. When it's a client and you measured something, just stick to it. I'm only making these changes because this is my own outfits and I have the liberty to change that. I didn't even realize, I didn't even decide on the length I wanted, but I feel like this style is going to look nice as, you know, a midi, and if it's not, we can always cut the lengths. Okay, so 32 all the way here too. So now we're going to go and connect those points like so. So now have it in mind that this is only one side of the skirt. This is one side, one piece, that's the front piece. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And then, perfect. So this is just the front piece of this skirt. So let's go ahead and leave it folded like this and fold for the back piece. We're just going to cut the same thing twice. So now that I've folded it, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this piece and place it on top of it. And if you want to pin, you can, but I really feel like there's really no point pinning. And then I'm going to go ahead and just follow this same pattern and cut it out like so. Okay, so perfect. Now we have the front and the back piece. So now the next thing we're going to do, which is like super easy, is we're going to like open this like so. Can you see how wide it is? So this is one half of the circle, and if I add this, is another half of the circle. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to place it like so, and then I'm going to choose one side, which I'm going to just sew a straight line down on. It doesn't matter the side, because with this skirt, anywhere can be the front, anywhere can be the back, except there's a particular design you're trying to stick to. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sew a straight line on any of these sides. I'm going to go ahead and cut the waist. So now, if you remember, the waist was 27. This skirt's already like midi and very dramatic. I want my waistband to be just like 1 inch. So I'm going to cut out 3 inches, because 1 inch for the outside, 1 inch for the inside, ½ inch for the outside, and ½ inch for the inside. So that makes it 3 inches when you add everything up together. So my waist is 27. I'm going to cut out 27 by 3. Okay, so this is going to be our waistband. So like I said, we're going to sew one of those sides down straight using ½ inch, because that was what we added as the allowance. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew my waistband on. Let me just make sure this waistband is the same measurement to remeasure for my waist. So now we have 16 instead of 13 and a half. Okay, so now that our waist ended up being slightly bigger, what we're going to do is we're going to make a gather stitch that's just going to gather it a very tiny bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew a straight line around the waist. I don't know why with full flare that like almost always happens. With half flare, it's almost always perfect, but with full flare and above, it always just ends up being too big. And I'm yet to figure out why. If you know why, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this my loosest stitch and just make a gather stitch around. Just trying to get rid of 2.5 inches, remember. Okay, so with that little gather we made, we're back at 27. So I'm going to go ahead and just tie this right here, so that way I don't lose, my 27. So if your measurement maybe for like sleeve or something else is not like, it ends up being a little bit slightly bigger, gathers is like the one way to get rid of that bulk. So you guys are already learning how to like troubleshoot things when they end up being too big. Okay, so now we're going to fix the waistband. To fix the waistband, I've done this like in multiple of my videos. I'm just going to go ahead and explain it to you guys. The first thing we're doing is, as you guys can see, some part of this fabric is shiny and the other is not shining. So the non-shiny part is the back and the shiny part is the front. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and put the front part of the waistband on the back part of the skirt. So this is what we're doing, like this, placing it like this. And then we're just going to stitch a straight line round to the end. Don't forget to adjust your machine back to the regular stitch. Whenever that's done, we're going to go ahead and cut off all our threads. Get used to cutting your threads as soon as you finish sewing, so at the end of the day you don't have much to worry about. So after that's sewn, what we're going to do now is we're going to use the top of this to cover this. So we're going to fold this by ½ inch, because that's how much allowance we left, and then we're going to use it to just cover this part that we sewed first, and then we're going to sew. So when you're sewing this, make sure you're sewing as close to the edge as possible. I'm going to show you guys a different method of fixing waistband, which is called stitch in the ditch, but not today. So with waistband, most people like to add gum stay or interfacing. Personally, I do not like to. I just like the way it's like, I don't like it stiff on my waist, if that makes sense. But you can go ahead and try using gum stay and or interfacing and see what you prefer, so that way you can know what you want to sew, like, or how you want to sew going forward. But personally, I do not like to do it, but I would say go ahead and give it a try so you can see if you like it or not. Now that we're done sewing the waistband on, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold it like so, like this, and then I'm going to measure about 7 inches from the top. I'm going to fit it into my machine like so, and then I'm sewing with just 1/2 inch. So make sure the top aligns, because I don't want the top to not align. My 7 inches stops here. I'm going to make sure it's 1/2 inch allowance I'm leaving in, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew a straight line from there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew the bottom part of this skirt. Again, you guys have probably seen me do this multiple times, but just in case you have any new viewers who are just clicking specifically on this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So since it's a flake, we have to do it like very tiny and very carefully. So first I'm going to finger press this. Since this material is Kampala, it adheres to whatever kind of pressing you give it. So if you don't give it pressing with heat, it's still going to stay. Can you see how flat that is now? Just with finger pressing. Because material has like a lot of starch. But after you wash it like 2-3 times, yeah, it comes back like regular cotton fabric. Okay, so now we're going to fold this twice, very tiny, like I mentioned, like so, and just stitch it round. Okay, so I'm just going to keep doing this and sew it round. It's a very big piece I'm sewing. I'm not going to take you guys through the whole journey with me. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right now and then come back when I'm about to fix the zipper. I'm going to show you guys how to fix an invisible zipper. One thing I would say is open the zipper up, and then one thing I usually like to do is take it to my ironing board and then not iron directly on it, but like just apply heat to this part. But instead of doing that, I can just do what I'm doing right now, which is all I'm trying to do is open it so that way it's easier for me to sew, and it's not like folding over where I sew on top of it. So as I do this, do you guys observe a line? There's like a line right there. So that's the line I'll be sewing on. Now I turn my skirts inside out, and then I place so I'm going to close my zipper so you guys can understand how I'm actually placing it. So the end goal is for it to look like this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and place it upside down with the back facing up, like so. Then I'm going to open it up. Then I'm going to put my zipper where I want it to start, which in this case is that 1/2 inch mark that I left. There's also like a different foot for sewing zippers that makes your life so much more easy. I don't know if I have the foot, and I don't want to go get it if I have it, so that's why I'm using this, because it works. It's the exact same thing, just as that one is more skinny. Okay, so see how I'm positioning my my needle so that way it's like lining up according with that line, and then I start to sew. So this is what it looks like from the front. See, this is the line I was referring to, and this is me holding it open. So I'm just sewing a straight line along that line. So next I'm going to just flip it over like I've already done, and then I'm going to make sure my zipper is going to like align when sewn at the top. At the top right here, it's going to align whenever I'm done sewing. Okay, so this is a perfect positioning. Going to go ahead, this is the part that usually sometimes is tricky, so let me go ahead and pin it somewhere here so I don't lose my point. Next I'm going to open it just like I opened the other side too. Place my pin. So actually it's kind of like best if you do not sew this line first before putting the put the zipper first before you sew that line. It's going to be so much more easy. The reason why I did that was because I hadn't settled on kind of zipper I'll be using. But once you're sure you're using an invisible zipper, go ahead and don't do that line yet. Do that line last, because it's easier to like join the line after the zipper is sewn. So now that I'm done, The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and bend this part like so and just stitch it down. Do the same thing to the other side. So that's it. So I'm going to flip this actually. So I'm going to go ahead and zip the zipper up. The good thing about, or the nice thing about invisible zipper is the fact that it just makes your work look professional, because nobody's really seeing that zipper line or like that zipper joining. Now if somebody should see me wear this skirt, they would literally think it has no zipper, because look, this is where the zipper is, but you wouldn't know there's a zipper there except for this part. See how neat that is? Very nice and very convenient to use. So that's the end of this tutorial. Let's go ahead and press the skirt and wear it so you guys see what it looks like on me. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you have any questions about any methods I use, or like anything in the video, or any suggestions on like things I can improve on, go ahead and leave in the comment section. Or I have a Telegram group which is not just me there, it's me and other like people who sew and other people who are trying to learn. So in that Telegram group we kind of interact together. So go ahead and join the group and ask any questions you have on there. Also, if you found this video interesting, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, why just hit the, it's just a button, you just hit the red subscribe button. Go ahead and subscribe so you can see more videos from me, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. I'm going to see you in my next sewing video or vlog or anything I post next, but I'll see you guys. Bye.
You're special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright.